passing. They are knocking the ball around very well, but then they need to fast track the process. They are too dull in knocking the ball around. You are playing tiki-taka football, knock it around, make it more faster, and that is the only way we can be able to open up the defensive line or the defensive solidity of the Benin Republic at the back line. Seeing that they are playing one man up front, in short, it's about 10 of their players is always in their own center here. So they are coming with a defensive pattern of play, maybe more like pack the balls and try to hit the Super Eagles on the counter. I think for me, we've been able to manage the situation pretty well. I think we should also try to pass the ball faster, so that we can be able to open that opening in the 18-yard box of the Benin Republicans. And by so doing, we get to score more goals, because I think goals is very, very important in this kind of game. You need to beat them hands down to tell them that we are no mates in terms of football at all.
All right, been an impressive, of course, moment we've seen, talking about the first half of that particular encounter between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and Benin Republic. Michael, just like you mentioned there, we've seen the touches, just like what, of course, we know Osne Guavon for touching the ball and making sure you gain possession. Very impressive. But what do you make of individual performance for the players in the first half of the encounter?
I think for the individual performance of the players, they'll be up and doing. Everybody is holding down his own wing, accurately. Right from the defense line, Semi Ajayi partnering with Truce Ekong, I think they've been very, very, good understanding among themselves. Then in the left flank, we saw Calvin Bassett drifted to that angle, to also hold it down there. Then in the right side of the defense, I think we've been doing pretty well. Talk about the flanks as well. Very, very effective. Samuel Chukwueze doing pretty well in the right hands of the flag, while Lukman Ademola also piling the pressure against the Benin Republicans in the left-hand side of the flank. You talk about the midfield. I think the coming back of Wilfred Ndidi in the midfield has also helped to stabilize that midfield. There's no loss of balls too much within the middle of the park. And for Alex Iwobi as well in the midfield as well, I think he's been doing pretty much. I think the only issue is about Victor Boniface taking his chances. Like I said earlier, if he had taken 2 of those chances that came his way in the first half, I think by now we should be up by 3 goals to nothing. So I think individually the players have been doing the right thing that they ought to do. But we need to be very wary against the Benin Republicans, because like you are seeing out there, their plan is to hit us on the counter, and we need to watch out for it.
All right, let's say it goes individual performance of the players, has been a little bit, of course, impressive. But Michael, Calvin Bassett seems to be a little bit shaky in defense.
Yeah, and it is understandably. Having not played in that, left side hand of the defense for quite a long time. Even if you watch him play for Fulham, he always, play in the central defense line, which for me, he need to start adapting to another, new philosophy of trying to operate from the left-hand side of the defense, which for me, I think that is the reason for his shaky defense. But I believe as the game progresses, he's going to gain that confidence back.
All right, let's see how it goes. We hope that, we'll be able to get, of course, a more impressive performance from the Super Eagles of Nigeria in that encounter against Benin Republic. But I think we're being joined by Mr. Siri with his life at the Gosling Akpabio International Stadium. Mr. Siri, good evening to you and welcome to Sport Extraordinary.
Yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Good evening to you.
Okay, good evening. And this is the Gosling Akpabio Stadium. It's very frenzy and very noisy. We came in here much early, 2 hours before the game. It looked like an empty stadium. But just about when the ball kicked off, we saw a lot of crowd coming.
On landscape, can you put the phone on landscape?
The government of Akwa Ibom said that cancelled the fees, and so the stadium was the gates were left open. So now we have the full house.
Mr. Siri, please, can you put the phone on landscape?
Can Can you hear me?
Yeah, put your phone on landscape. Can you put it on landscape?
I really can't hear you.
Can you
to hear you.
put your phone on landscape? Put it on landscape.
Or the phone on landscape, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Talking with network here. Let me just go back and do that.
All right, we can go
It's
now.
okay. It's okay that way. I think it's perfect now.
Now.
Yeah, it's better.
So, like I said, we are into the second half, and the Super Eagles of Nigeria, courtesy of that Ademola Lookman's 46-minute goal, we lead by 1-0. It looks better. Just before I got on set, there was a large row by the spectators here, and it had to do with Coach Austin Egbagbo asking that Victor Osimhen get started to warm up, and when the fans see him on the tracks trying to warm up for the encounter, there was a loud noise, and we hope that any moment soon, Victor Osimhen may just be the first game for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. He seems to have a lot of fans here, in spite of the impasse between him and the former coach and the Nigeria Football Federation. And some fans, it looks like he has a lot of fans here at the Godspeed Private Stadium. They are rooting, they can't wait for Victor Osimhen to be part of the boys on the pitch. The Pereira team, they have given a good account of themselves so far. I think they let their guards down in that last 2 minutes of added time in first half, when that goal was scored by Ademola Lookman. But I think so far the Pereira seem to know more about our players, the way they play, and they are playing to their strength to a large extent. And we just hope that we can see more goals here as the Super Eagles continue to press in their own half. And Ademola Lookman looks like most outstanding player. He's always on the ball, and the team looks out for him. We just got him a free kick off mark of altercation between him and the two Benua players. Let's hope that we can get to 4 goals. If Victor Osimhen comes in here and he's not changed, Chukwueze is still here as well. It looks a very tight team for Nigeria, but the shots in front of goal is lacking. But the play is plenty on the pitch.
A very impressive one down there, Mr. Siri. What do you make of it? Calvin Bassey, of course, in defense, looks a little bit shaky. What do you make of his performance in the first half of the encounter?
Unfortunately, I'm struggling to hear the noise here. It's just too much, and I just hope I can hear what you say. You repeat yourself.
We are saying, what do you make of, Calvin Bassey? He's been very shaky in the defense line.
It's even more difficult to hear. I don't know. It's really, really noisy.
Okay, I don't know if you can hear. Can you hear us now? Can you hear us now?
Listen, what do you say?
Can you hear me now?
But I just can't hear at all. You're not audible.
Okay. We're taking a look at. We're talking about Calvin Bassey in the defense line. He looks a little bit shaky in the first half of the encounter. I don't know what you make of his performance in the first half.
So improved play from the Super Eagles. You can hear me. I can't hear you. But we've seen some improved play from the Super Eagles on the flank. And what a shot! What a shot! What a shot! But Victor Boniface with a full blast of the shot, but he didn't kiss the upright of the net. The fans are happy with what they are seeing so far this second half. As we speak, Victor Osimhen, wearing jersey number 10, is about to come in, and let's see who comes out. Victor Osimhen about to enter. Like what we are seeing now, Moses Simon is on. Victor Osimhen and Victor Alex Iwobi is out. Alex Iwobi is out, and now Chukwueze as well is out. So the double change for Nigeria, and the fans are applauding the change here. at the Godswill Akpabio Stadium.
All right, Mr. Cyril, we'll get back to you to give us, of course, more feelers from that particular encounter at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium.
If I could hear what you said, I would have been very happy, but the audio is being overpowered by the noise inside of the stadium here. Even at the press stand where we are, you expect that there will be little noise, but the overwhelming noise not allowing me to hear what you're saying.
All right, I'm saying we'll get back to you to give us, of course, the latest coming from the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium. We'll get back to you.
But I think I might just leave at this point and hope that we can get a bit clearer.
Okay.
So far, in the Super Eagles of Nigeria won, and the Cheetahs of Benin, the Republic of Benin, no go.
All right. I will definitely, of course, get to you to give us, of course, some feelers down there at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium. Just like you've heard, it is the Super Eagles 1 and as well Benin Republic 0 at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium. Some substitution down there in the side of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And of course, we'll see how that one will go. The second half is on. And of course, I'll look forward to see what the Super Eagles of Nigeria will do going forward. But we're also being joined by Ekpo Temple. Good evening to you, Temple, and welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you. Good to hear from you. I think to see it very well. I mean, inside is I mean, it's noisy, and I understand why Steve cannot hear us clearly. I have to come out so that we can hear my VIP entrance of this.
Temple, are you there? All right, so we'll see if we can get the connection right. Network not really friendly with us, but we'll see how we can get to guys down there at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium to give us, of course, feelers in that feelers of the game between Super Eagles of Nigeria and Benin Republic. But Michael, you got some reports, of course, from Mr. Siri. I don't know what you make of what he said.
Yeah, first I'm able to deduce the fact that despite you know what Victor Osimhen did to the last coach, talking about Finidi George, he's still very much being loved and valued out there by the fans out there in Uyo. You saw the roar, the cheers, the clap, the excitement and joy in the faces of the fans when Victor Osimhen went to the touchline to warm up as he was about to come into the second half. Then again, he also, narrated the same thing which we just talked about earlier about the Super Eagles side dominating possession, taking advantage of the Benin Republic side, and capping it all with that late minute goal from Lukman Ademola. Away from that, I think it was because of the network we couldn't hear clearly from him what he was saying as regard to the shaky start of Calvin Bassey in the defense line. But I think generally, just like what we've seen from the statistics of the first half, it's very clear that Nigeria is dominating possession. They are not just dominating possession, but winning everything, both corner, free kick, throwing out there as well. So I think we are good to go. Let's hope that the substitution that he has made is going to even bring more goals. Subbing the likes of Alex Iwobi and Samuel Chukwueze. I think for Samuel Chukwueze, I should have said that he should have stayed on the pitch maybe till 70 minutes, because if you take a look at his first half performance, not really bad at all. But then, like I said, let's hope that this second half substitution is going to even bring us more goals, because we need to not just win Benin Republic 1-0. We need to win them convincingly and clinically.
So what are your expectations now from the coach and as well from the players this second half?
I expect the coach and the players to up their ante, to up the tempo of the game in this second half, so that at least we'll pile the pressure against the Benin Republic side, because hence they are bent on sitting back to defense and absorb pressure, which also take the pressure to them, you know, and 1 or 2 penalties might come in, because if you don't want to come out and knock the game, then let's take the pressure back to their own 18-yard, and that is the only way we can be able to open up the defense and score more goals, because you know, we don't just need to win this game with a slim margin. Don't forget, it's about a revenge mission. They defeated us 2-1 away in the World Cup qualifying encounter. So this is more like a vendetta exercise for the Super Eagles. So we must, as a matter of must, pummel them like 3-4 goals to nothing, and that is the only way, you know, we can be able to say yes, it was a convincing win for us.
All right, let's say it goes. Of course, we'll continue to bring you up to speed with the latest at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium, where the Super Eagles, of course, are locking horns against Benin Republic. It's Super Eagles 1 and Benin Republic 0. That's lovely goal from Ademola Lukman. But Michael, before we get back to the Super Eagles of Nigeria, let's talk some basketball on the show, as Nigeria's junior Tigers bounce back from their opening loss to defending champions Egypt with a hard-fought 70-65 victory over Angola in their second Group B game at the FIBA Under-18 Afro Basketball Championship. The Junior Tigers needed a win to be in contention for the knockout stages and had to do it the hard way, beating Angola in a pulsating encounter in Pretoria. The first quarter was a closely contested affair, with Nigeria narrowly edging out Angola 20-18. In the second quarter, the Junior Tigers stepped up the defensive intensity, limiting Angola to just 6 points while scoring 12 of their own. This strong defensive performance gave Nigeria an 8 points lead at halftime, 32-24. However, Nigeria's sloppy play in the second half almost cost them the game. The Junior Tigers committed 23 turnovers, with 16 coming in the first half, many of which were on forced errors. Angola capitalized on this mistake, as scoring Nigeria 25-15 in the third quarter and taking a 2 points lead into the final period. Despite a strong start to the fourth quarter by the Angolans, Nigerians' resilience ultimately prevailed, and the Junior Tigers were able to overcome Angola's momentum and secure the 70-65 victory by scoring Angola 21-18. And Nigeria's final group game will be against Uganda on Tuesday. Michael, what do you make of it? The Junior Tigers putting up a very impressive performance against Angola this time, 70-65.
I think for me, like I said in their first game, you know, the visa issue was really a big challenge for them in the first game against the defending champion, talking about Egypt, where the South African embassy out there in Abuja denied them visa. Less than 24 hours before their first game against Egypt, you know, at some point all hope were lost that they were not going to make it out there. But due to the intervention of the Nigerian government, that of FIBA and the Nigerian basketball, they were able to rectify that issue, and that is how they were able to land at Pretoria at the late minute. In fact, they landed less than an hour before their first game against Egypt, and that is why they lost to Egypt 70-54. You know, so for me, I think I knew it that if given the proper timing for them to settle down, they are going to, you know, win their second game, which is what we saw against a very strong side. Don't also forget that Angola is a basketball nation as well. So for, you know, the junior D Tigers to defeat Angola, even with the shortest time that they had to settle down, I think it's a plus. So, but then they must also continue to put their foot on the pedal. On our last game is very, very important, just like this, you know, the second game that we play, because we need to win the last game to have or to stand a good chance of making it through to the knockout stage.
Let's see how it goes for the Judo D Tigers. We hope they get things done. Their last encounter against Uganda, which of course comes up next week. Let's keep our fingers crossed on that, but a very impressive performance, you will see, from them. Away from that, Nigerian team at the 2024 Paralympic Games added a silver medal to it all after Flora Owunuwa won in the women's javelin throw event. Owunuwa, who competed in the women's F54 category of the athletic event, achieved a throw of 19.26 meters to finish second in the competition. The winning throw was her second in the competition final, with her first being 18.00 meters, and third was 18.24 meters, with the fourth, fifth, and sixth being 18.68 meters, 18.40 meters, and 17.50 meters, respectively. Uzbekistan's Nukan Akobanova won the event's gold medal with a world record-setting throw of 21.12 meters as her best in the mandatory six-set throws. Kobanova, who had earlier won the bronze medal in women's shot puts, never gave her competitors a chance, and her win has now made it 1 gold, 2 silver, and 2 bronze medals so far. This for Team Nigeria in the 52nd position at the games as it stands. Michael, what do you make of it? Another medal for Nigeria, this time in silver.
Good one. You know, it has been a very shaky start for Team Nigeria in the ongoing Paralympic game out there in Paris. They did not actually start on a good footing. We saw how, you know, in the tennis event, how about 8 out of the 9 tennis players were, you know, knocked out in the competition very early, leaving only one with the responsibility of delivering. You know, at some point where it looked as though nothing is coming forth from Team Nigeria, and Niola Bolaji just break the duck by winning our first medal, you know, before, you know, was it Ezini as well that won the second medal for us. So as it is right now, 5 medals in all that Nigeria have amassed. It looks as though we are beginning to pick up our mojo, especially at the dying minutes of the competition, which is what I said here 2 days ago, that, you know, I expect us to finish very strong. Though we did not start very strong, but it looks as though we are going to finish very strong. 5 medals so far, with 1 gold among the 5 to show for it. I think we can still, you know, go for the killer to finish on a very positive note.
Talking about finishing very strong, Michael, the game comes to an end this weekend.
Yeah.
I don't know what you make of it. 5 medals already. Is it because coming down for the game to come to an end this weekend, it means we have a few chances of even surpassing the previous record of 10 medals in Tokyo. I don't know what you make of this outing at this time for Nigeria in Paralympics.
Well, for me, I think let's just hope that we are able to amass more medals before the game comes to an end this weekend. We can't actually totally rule out the fact that you know, we need to surpass our record. But taking a look at the timing and the days that is remaining before the wrap-up of this very one, it's looking likely that we may or may not, you know, equal last, you know, edition outing where we were able to win a total of 10 medals. We already have 5 as it is right now. Can we actually, you know, win more 5 or even 6 to surpass previous edition? It still remains a big question that some of our, you know, Paralympians need to answer out there in Paris, as we await how they are able to finish, whether they are going to finish very strong or they are going to finish, you know, on a low. But I still keep my fingers crossed, hoping that we are going to at least, if not surpassing previous edition, but to also rack up more medals before the tournament comes to an end.
All right, let's see how it goes. It's been 1 gold, 2 silver, 2 bronze, of course, for Team Nigeria at the ongoing Paralympic Games, and we'll see how far or how they'll finish this time around. But away from that, let's talk tennis, as Taylor Fritz became the first American man in 15 years to reach a Grand Slam single final as he beat compatriot Francis Tiafoe in a 5-set U.S. Open thriller. Fritz fought back to beat his good friend Tiafoe 4-6, 7-5, 4-6, 6-4, 6-1 under the lights in New York. Michael, what do you make of this one, Taylor Fritz, in the finals of the U.S. Open?
A big statement of intent from Taylor Fritz out there, squaring up against another American, Francis Tiafoe. I think the crowd went haywire. If you actually take a look at watch some of those clips out there, the fans were cheering from different quarters, some for the, you know, camp of Francis Tiafoe, some for the camp of Taylor Fritz as well, and that even, you know, made the game even more exciting and more, you know, beautiful to, you know, watch out there. But then Taylor Fritz has to do what he needed to do at this stage to also, have a hope of at least finishing the season very strong, having not won anything so far in this 2024 season, and this is the last Grand Slam of the year. For Francis Tiafoe, good player any day, anytime, but it's just that the firepower, the trickery, and the serve of Taylor Fritz was too much for him to handle, and that is why he couldn't cope with the powerful serves of Taylor Fritz. It's a big congratulations for Taylor Fritz out there. We wait to see him in the final, either against Jack Draper or Yannick Sinner. But I tell you, it's going to be a massive clash. Big congratulations to Taylor Fritz once more.
Talking about the final, it's going to go down this weekend, and we'll see that one between Taylor Fritz and Yannick Sinner, because Yannick Sinner got past...
Jack Draper, I mean to say.
Yannick Sinner, no.
Yannick Sinner, yeah. Jack Draper.
Yannick Sinner will lock horns against Taylor Fritz. Okay. Yes, in the finals of the US Open. Yannick Sinner actually took out Jack Draper.
Okay.
And of course, promises to be an exciting one we'll look out for. But what do you make of it? Taylor Fritz against Yannick Sinner. You think Yannick Sinner, this one is going to be an easy pass for him?
Looking at it on paper, I think Yannick Sinner, you may say, yeah, have the upper hand against, Taylor Fritz heading into the final. But then, I think for Taylor Fritz to get to this point, it's a clear share of determination and the quality that he possesses. It's not just by fluke that took him this far. So, I don't think it's going to be a roller coaster ride for Yannick Sinner, despite the fact that the odds actually favors him. But I still think that he needs to prove it out there on the court. And for Yannick Sinner, he wants to do that on the court out there because he's been very good so far this season. Despite the distraction of failing twice doping tests, which actually, forced him to drop some points and lost some money, he was still able to stay strong, despite those distractions and criticism from different players out there. But then he was still able to maintain his cool and get to this, final. I tell you, it's going to be a very massive clash. But then the odds will certainly go in favor of Yannick Sinner. And in fact, I'm tipping Yannick Sinner to make this one count as it is.
All right, let's see how it goes. But Michael, I tell you, cherry news coming from the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium. Victor Osimhen, who was brought in the second half of the game, has found the back of the net. It is Super Eagles 2, Benin Republic 0, or the second goal coming in the 79th minute from Victor Osimhen.
I think he needed this goal. He needed this goal to bring back the confidence. And don't also forget, he need to also, start showing the quality of what he's made up of for his new side. Talking about Galatasaray, he has, finalized his move from Napoli to Galatasaray on loan. So he need to show Galatasaray, what he's made up of. And I think for me, I'm very happy for Victor Osimhen because this will help to restore back confidence for him going forward.
Impressive one. Of course, impressive news we're getting from the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium. Super Eagles leading Benin Republic 2-0 as we speak. First goal from Ademola Lookman. Osimhen coming in the second half to get a goal. A very impressive one for him. But Michael, I feel so sorry for the man Victor Boniface. It was, whenever he gets the time to play for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, it's either he's been injured or one thing will happen. But this is an opportunity where he would have actually showed himself, but he wasn't really, utilizing the chances we've seen. What do you make of Victor Boniface in this encounter?
Well, for me, I think the quality of Victor Boniface is never in doubt for me any day, any time. We saw his impressive and stellar performance for Bayern Leverkusen, in the last 2 years, he's been very consistent for the Xavi Alonso-led men. Despite the fact that he was injured last season for Bayern Leverkusen for, a couple of months out there. But then he was still their top scorer. That is to tell you how prolific Victor Boniface is. So for me, his quality is never in doubt. It's just that sometimes in football, these things do happen. You might get the chance, and you don't take it. Somebody who, you know, I mean, who you should be better off in terms of holding on to the ball and dragging other players to play. Might just come in one little chance and the person takes it, and people think that maybe the person is better than you, but then that is not how, you know, football should be judged. If you take a look at his total contribution during the time that he was on the pitch of play, I think he did a lot for himself. Just that he failed to take the chances, which is very, very key. As a striker, any chance that comes your way, be it a half chance, put it behind the back of the net, and that is why you are called a striker, and that is what distinguishes you know, strikers like Erling Haaland, Victor Osimhen, you know, Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, among the rest of the strikers are there, because you give them half, you know, chance, they will take it. They don't play with such chances because they understand the importance of scoring goals as a striker. It brings, I mean, it brings confidence to you as a striker. Whenever you are hitting the back of the net, every other thing will just working in your favor, and that fear factor will definitely be there for defenders coming up against you, because they know you are very deadly. And any slightest touch at the 18-yard, you can possibly earn a penalty. So for me, in as much as Victor Boniface was unable to, you know, score a goal during the entire duration that he was on the pitch of play, I can't just say that he's not a good player at all, because I strongly believe that football, you know, you can't actually, you know, rule out some of these incidents as well. But for Victor Osimhen coming in to, you know, find the back of the net, I think it's a big one for him and more like a morale booster.
Sharing news still coming from the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium, as Ademola Lookman, of course, has gotten his second goal in the 84th minute in that particular encounter between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and Benin Republic. Michael, it is Nigeria 3, Benin Republic 0. Third goal coming from Ademola Lookman. I
told you, you know, while we were, you know, watching the game in the first half, you guys, you know, were worried that is this what we are going to play. I told you to relax, that we are going to win the game. And for Ademola Lookman, he has also justified his inclusion, you know, among the 30 named nominees for the Ballon d'Or award. You know, he has been very, very impressive. If you take a look at his performance in the just concluded African Cup of Nations for Nigeria, where we head to the final, courtesy of his powerful strikes out there. He did pretty well for the African Cup of Nations for Super Eagles. Also did pretty well for Gasperini's men, talking about the Atlanta and their coach out there, scoring that, you know, hat-trick in the Europa final. History-making one for him, and I think it is no doubt for me that he truly deserves to be among the nominees for the Ballon d'Or award. And for the African Footballer of the Year, he has also cemented his image as one of the favorites out there, because I don't see anybody that comes close to him, you know, this year in terms of the African Footballer of the Year. So for me, Lookman Ademola, give it to him. He's not looking at any man as it is right now.
Cheering moments at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium. Super Eagles of Nigeria putting up a very impressive performance. It is Super Eagles 3, Benin Republic 0. But we have to take our eyes away from the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium and take a look at what is happening at Stamford Bridge. Michael, it's like the owners of Chelsea. The moment, I think they are not really you know, in good terms, will I put it that way, because we hear that Todd Bowley, of course, might be selling his stake, of course, in the team. I don't know what you make of it. What is really happening at Chelsea Football Club?
It's been a bit, you know, tug of war between the Clear Lake Capitals and Todd Bowley. Clear Lake are saying that, you know, instead of them to relinquish their own majority stake out there, rather they are very ready to even welcome or accept the, you know, that slot of Todd Bowley out there. They are ready to own the 100%. Meanwhile, Todd Bowley as well, a few hours ago, he's come up with a different opinion that he's even ready as well to, you know, purchase the team as it is. So it's been a bit of confusion and as it stands right now. Let's hope that this thing did not degenerate to something that will prove very very bad for Chelsea Football Club, because if you're having two owners tussling for 100% ownership and none of them is ready to back down, none of them is ready to relinquish their stake in the club either, I think it becomes a problem. But then I do not think that they should be, embroiled with this kind of confusion. Just few days ago, they had to sell one of their property in order to balance their book because of the financial fair play rules. I think they should be talking about how to be able to stabilize and build the team back to its glory days, not trying to, jostle of who owns the majority share of it. But as it is right now, before the relationship gets sour between Clear Lake and Todd Bowley, I think they should find a common ground to be able to settle this thing amicably so that Chelsea Football Club, will smile once more with their fans.
Does this further put Chelsea in disarray? Because we understand the team is not even balanced after they brought Enzo Maresca, and now we're having this tussle among the owners. Does it further bring confusion into the team?
Yes, it further, damages the reputation, the image of the team, and even dampens the morals of the player, even their coaching career as well. Because when you are having an uncertainty on the ownership of the club, they could actually affect the players psychologically. So for me, I think it will have a negative impact on the management of the team, ranging from the coaching crew down to the players out there, because a lot will be going through their mind, whether not, they are not going to fall into another big problem, because when two owners are battling of who owns the majority stake or who owns the 100% share of the club, I think proper attention will not be given to how the daily running of the clubs are out there, and that will definitely affect the club or their performance in the pitch of play.
All right, so these are points. We'll call it a wrap on the show. Really been an impressive time this evening, taking a look at the AFCON qualifying encounter between Super Eagles of Nigeria and Benin Republic. Just like we told you, it is Super Eagles 3, Benin Republic 0. Demola Lookman with 2 goals, and Osimhen, of course, with a goal in that encounter. And with that, Demola Lookman, of course, will be a sport extraordinaire, putting up 2 goals in that encounter. A very impressive one for the man. Michael, really been an impressive time this evening.
Yeah, definitely. Always a good time enjoying myself right here.
All right, don't forget, Peace and Unity, always the pathways to progress. Of course, I'll be back next week to bring the latest revolving round the beautiful world of sports. Stay locked on Atlantic Television Network.